Welcome to the Shambala vision. I am Mikael Ananda, and this will be an intuitive session. I will do a mind-to-mind transfer of my higher knowledge to you, all of you. If you care to join in, it will be for the benefit of all living beings to clean ourselves from suffering in the world. So if you want to be a part of it, you stay. So I start with putting my intention to share all my deep higher knowledge with you directly, all of you, and just feel that it's happening. So while this is happening, I will speak to you, and it doesn't really matter what I'm saying, because the real truth will be transferred in a much deeper level. But my words will also be able to help some of you that aren't fully aware or connected to your deeper energies. So it's good to listen to this as well. So first of all, I welcome you. I've been looking for you, my friends of the circles, heroes on the path for an enlightened society. You have come here because I have called for you, and because you're longing to participate in something great, which is what we're doing right now. I want to make the invocation of the hero, and I invite you to relax and sit down, or if you stand, to stay still in one position, focus yourself, feel your body relax, and connect with the top of your head into the heavenly realms. Stretch your back upwards, feel that you're connected, lift your head. Then relax the whole of your body, your shoulders, and kind of sink down into the earth a bit, feeling grounded, connected to the mother. That you stand very heavily on the earth, and then open your chest forward, relaxing your body, allowing your shoulders and your head to be a little bit back, and your chest is opening up in front. This is the posture of the hero, the spiritual warrior, where you stand firmly on the ground or sit firmly on the ground. And you're totally open, sensitive to all the things happening in the higher worlds. And it's a sense of power. You have a lot of power, courage, strength, that you're well rooted, and also this tenderness of love and light from your heart, healing, connecting to your abilities of healing. So this practice I'm doing as often as I can, usually every morning, and also during the day for shorter, briefer, just reminders of strengthening and getting into my posture. This is invoking this hero energy, and this is the first exercise to embody your own hero. and your own hero has some values connected, and these values you should use some time to think about what are these qualities that you see in the hero, and feel that every time you think about this posture of stretching up, know that these qualities will be reinforced in you: the bravery, the strength. So this is the first thing to do, to set your intention to be and walk the path of the hero and to manifest these qualities. The first hindrance on the path of the warrior or the hero is to face your doubts and to face your shadows. And I will very briefly say that you all have shadows, a lot of them. For me, it works well to understand that we are partly in the world of demons. So we ourselves are also in a somewhat demonic state. Sounds harsh, but it is so. The world is in a very low energy level, but that's only relative to something higher. It is, if we look relative to the situation right now, everything is just normal. This low energy is quite normal. And why am I telling this? Yes, because many people who are drawn to the light, they don't like the fact that it's so much darkness, and they absolutely do not like the fact that they are contributing to darkness with their bad habits, and sometimes with being in a difficult situation where you cannot control your negative habits, so you actually inflict suffering on other people. And this, I think, is the first problem that most people will have, and that we have as a whole, the humanity at large. It's in a constant denial of our own pain and our own suffering and our part in doing this to others. We're kind of want to be good, but we know that we're not so good, so we kind of deny it and have a lot of issues. And yeah, of course, it's going to lead to crazy turmoil inside. So the first solution is to accept it fully. And I like this story about the Buddha. Once the Buddha was out in the heavenly realms doing some good stuff, he encountered 2 demons. The demons were really difficult, strong demons. They have been feasting on blood of humans for ages and ages. But they came in front of the Buddha and said, "We just happened to overhear you, Lord Buddha, when you were speaking to some other people a while back. And your knowledge and what you were sharing was so inspiring to us that we decided together that we want to walk the path, the middle path, and we want to become bodhisattvas and monks and learn from you." And so the Buddha, without he doesn't say no to anyone. So he says, yes, of course you can teach, you can learn with me. But according to the myth, he said that at this point in time, your bodies are not adapt to being part of the community of monks, but you'll be able to stand by the gate to the monastery and guard the gate so no other demons will enter. And you will stay there, and in return you will be able to listen to the sermons and hear me, and when I go in and out, you will have the chance to ask me questions. And the demons were very happy with this arrangement, and so up to this day there's always wooden statues or stone statues of these demons outside of most Buddhist temples. And what does this story mean? Yes, it means that you should not in any way feel sad if you happen to have a demonic part of you or a demon inside of yourself, because that is our current situation. The whole of the world is kind of in a heavy demonic rule, and you are seeking to reach the light, but knowing that that's fully possible even if you yourself have been eating other humans, as these beasts have been doing for many years. So even if you have a similar faith, it doesn't mean that you are bad. It doesn't mean that you are wicked. It means that you have had strong influence of darkness, and that you might have it still. But only the fact that you're looking for the light is the first thing. And so accept that it's perfect, that you have the dark shadows. There's no sin upon you. All the sin you lift from yourself right now. There's no sin. You purify your being and all your deeds and everything that happened to you and that you did to others. You purify it with your intention of love and light straight here, and you are fully purified. And now from this purified position, you will still not be perfect, just as the demon weren't allowed entry into the chamber of the monks, but they had a purpose. They find their purpose. So put yourself in a place where you can be helpful, but do not put you in a place of temptation, for that is not beneficial for you. So if you have some trouble, if you're creating pain on someone or someone is creating pain on you, make sure you're not close to that to help you to avoid it. You need a physical barrier from you and the problem. You're not strong enough, maybe at this point, to, with your mental power, get out of a negative behavior. So the first solution to this is to first acknowledge that you have a darkness, and then make a physical blockage from you and the difficulties. Make a distance. Go away from bad friends that doesn't help you. Get away from bad situations. Get yourself in a healthful, good space. Okay, so this is the first way of handling the first problem. The first problem being the understanding of that you have demonic or difficult, let's say, qualities, and then is to get away physically from creating more harm, accepting, and then creating the light body by putting your attention to heal all in all direction, everyone, love and light, stretch into the hero's posture, connect with the heavens and the earth, open your heart, and it doesn't matter how much negativity there is in the world or within you in the past. Right now there is only light and love and full attention on creating happiness and an enlightened society. So that's the first thing, and most of you have already understood this, come to realize it. The second thing is to connect your circle. This will make your struggle much more efficient. You have a circle of light beings, and there is like your soul group, some say, or just like-minded people. And probably you already are surrounding yourself with these people of light. But to make all your journey much more efficient, you need to make a physical bond. Find people and make a physical circle. And then you can continue having this circle in a spiritual sense only, but you need to make it physical. And it's also possible to continue doing this over a medium like internet, but it needs to be rooted in this three-dimensional as well, because usually that's where we are. We are not telepathic beings. Well, we are, but we are not so developed, so we need the physical attachment to each other. And why? Yes, because when you create a circle, and if you find your friends of light, and then you set a common intention, and this common intention, obviously you can find it together, but it is the quality of the hero again, of sharing love and light, unconditional, in all direction, helping all sentient beings for all eternity until paradise has been restored on earth. Just total positive vision. When you have this together, you will help each other to keep your own vibration high at all time. We work like this by having a strong intention and a strong belief in the purity of heaven, or the goodness of God, or the happiness that's gonna come in the future. All these good ideas. We need to keep a constant positive vibration field and strong hope in the future. And when we do it together in our group of 6 people, yes, it should be maximum 6 people in your circle. This is very important. If you have a full circle of 6 people and you all share an intention of love and light, and then it will be much easier to evoke your hero yourself, because you will be always strengthened by your circle. And in fact, you will also be strengthened by more light beings, and angels and all kind of things will help you to strengthen yourself. Be aware of that. But by connecting to your group, that will help a lot. And that will help for you to get out of your negative habits that you might not be able to do by yourself. So in a circle, let's say you start by making having one friend. You go up to them and you say that you would like to have a working circle together, and you find your shared longing for peace and happiness, which is basically why that's why we're here. We are heroes. So you have a shared longing, you share it together, and then you have your individual longing to manifest the hero with the qualities that you resonate with, and you share this with the circle, and so you all support each other to be the best that you can be. And I said that it's maximum 6 people, so keep inviting people until you have 6, but after that you don't stop. But if you get more people, you will start new circles. And it can start by that you keep your original circle of 6. If you feel like it, it can be split also into 2 circles of 3, for example, or similar. Do as you like, but never have 7 people. So maybe you want to keep your original circle, but 1 or 2 of you joins a new circle together with the latest person. So maybe you form, you have a circle of 6, and then you create a new circle of 2 or 3, or any way. But it's important to know that you are part of one circle, and you will eventually find a circle of people that you resonate optimally. So it can change over time. So you have an optimal core circle for you, and then you have a few circles around yourself, and I would say maximum 6 circles you're a part of. Your core circle and 5 other circles that you are actually facilitating as a helper to give them the knowledge they need and to raise their field of awareness by your presence. So that's how it spread. So people will be attracted to you by your field. And this is also a very important thing. The next step, the first step was you on an individual level invoking and handling the problem of the shadow, overwinning that and creating light. Next step is to go together with the circle, have a common interest in light, and have a common acceptance for each other's fault and the shadow side. So in a circle level, the shadow is to be able to understand and have empathy for everyone's problems, and not only for yourself in your circle, but for everyone, because every group, every kind of circle has their shadow side. So basically what we want to do is to get rid of this dualistic mindset, or being able to be objectively about it, to understand that every kind of person or group will have their shadows, but our mission is for unity to happen. We will want to create light and love in all directions, so there's no sin on any group. And here we need to work a lot with our communication skills to understand how to speak from your heart and how to be objective and not to go into judgment about everything, which is basically a whole lot of the trouble right now. We're all kind of pretending we're better than we are, and we're blaming everybody else. It's just a big mess. So as an objective for the circle, it is to unify this field by having acceptance and having a common, bigger, greater goal of peace and love. So at this point, understand that there's all this judgment on groups, conspiracy people, new age people, hippies, feminist, communist. We all are bombarded with the negative shadow side of all these groups, and this is made for us to be able to fight each other. This is the problem. This is what our challenge in this. The shadow on this level is this judgment on all these different groups, so we divide ourselves. What we overcome in this is to understand that we have a common longing. Whatever group you're connected to or have been, they all have the same longing. It's actually for light and love. It's very few that has the outspoken longing to create darkness and control people. Obviously, they are this kind of demonic creature, and we could say that's our opponent in this holy battle. But most people will not admit that they are looking to enslave people, because they are not real. They are actually trying to do good, but maybe caught in their negative behavior, just like you. So we, in this level of the circle, we practice speaking from our heart, opening up to empathy, giving love to everyone who is doing wrong, and fully understand that there is good in every group. Like the feminist people, they want women to be accepted as equal value, have safety and security, possibility, and all the shadow stuff might be true, but we're looking at the positive longing. All the communists, they want to have that we're sharing resources, we're friendly towards each other, open up for everyone to have the possibilities, not closing down. When we look at naturalists, they want to protect and make sure that progress is maintained, not create chaos and disorder. They want to have peace and relaxed and a good climate to be able to grow happily for everyone, actually. So this is the difficulty on the circle level, and we can enforce it with each other by having this intention that this is going to download automatically, and it is now as we speak. I'm downloading to you all my knowledge about empathic communication. You can also read a lot online. I have my books on uniteawake.com about communication. It's a crucial key. So it's super important, this circle. It's very powerful. And at this point I will also introduce you to the next step again, is to create a beacon of light. This you can do already now by yourself, but in a circle, as we go into the invocation of the hero, we're connecting to the sky and to the ground, open our heart. We can also open up to the light coming from the center of the earth, a pillar of light going up in between our arms through our bodies. We can create a circle. If we are our group in front of us, our circle, we can create a circle reaching out our arms in between and making the column of light go through, up through our arms, in between our bodies, up to the heavens, connecting with the source of the Shambala energy and to all the light beings in all dimensions, sending out this great love, kindness, healing light, attracting all good to come to your circle. This is our great work in this, to send out this light, call for everyone with good intention to join and come to your circle. And so in time you will be part of many circles, and that is the continuation with the next level. The next level is the fractal. The fractal is when the circles start connecting to each other. 6 circles go together as one and form a new circle. Circle of 6 circles. This will be created spiritually or on a non-physical level, but it will be physically also created through someone representing each group. So you find one to represent the group, and all the representatives will go together. So you will have one group of representatives for 6 different physical group, and this will then continue, that this new group, one of them will go up in a higher level, in a 3rd layer, and connect 6 circle of that represent 6, and so on. So it will continue until the fractal is closed, and then there is one center circle. And this process is the process of creating stability to and order to our world. You could say that the whole world is based on 2 main principles. The main principles is that there is unity and oneness in one side of the aspect, the true consciousness, God, and the void, the bliss. And there is the other side, which is the complexity of anarchy and everything in all possible forms. And in between there is like a gradual going from simpleness, from God, into more complexity. It goes to first the duality, and then it creates more and more options, and then we create all of everything. And our role here as this fractal is to create a structure to be able to go into oneness. This structure is obviously built on dualistic mindsets, so it is like a help to reach for humanity into a point of oneness, but at some point it will be discarded because it is actually made out of the fabric that we in the end will get rid of. And I go back to the subject of talking about the universe and metaphysics. My personal take on this is that don't go into metaphysics. It is enough to know that there is the one and the many, and you're searching for the one. And just believe in yourself as being the highest authority of everything. Don't go listening to all these people saying how everything is and how many dimensions there are, because it has no practical function. You need to trust your own instinct. Know that there is angel light beings and that you have a mission. You know this. You don't need anyone else to tell you this. If you're open to listen to other people because you want to go faster, you are just putting yourself in great risk of being caught in some demonic scheme to fool you into a feeling that you're on the right path because you get to know all this insight about all the dimensions and whatnot. This is all trickery. It is all trickery. You don't need to go into magic system or nothing. Know this. Your intention is everything. If you have an intention of love and light, this is the best possible way. And if you have this intention, it will manifest by itself. This is how everything works. You have an intention for all beings to be liberated from suffering and to be in the highest state of bliss together with God. This will happen. You don't need to know anything about Ascended Masters. Just trust them to do their job, basically. Don't be afraid of speaking to them either, but you don't need to search for this knowledge. The Ascended Master, if they decide to speak to you, will speak back and see what they want you to do, but you don't need to search for anything. Just put your attention on love and light in all dimensions for the greater good of everything, and you will be on the path, and you just let things happen. This is just invoking the hero, and you will act according to the great mother and the infinite source. So there's no reason to go into metaphysics. It's just a waste of time. I've seen thousands of people wasting their time talking about this complexity while they should just be resting in their state of awareness, and they're enforcing their longing for peace and happiness instead. Yeah, so this is the great challenge on the fractal level. The shadow of the fractal. This is the power of society, the dark web that corrupts everything everywhere. And this is the solution to this. It's this fractal, because the fractal has the organic sense of creating order, enough order for pure mind to be able to relax on top on. We create a stability just like on a personal level, to invoke the hero, to strengthen your back, giving you the sound, strength, open your heart for the love and compassion, healing, sitting firmly on the ground. This is creating a foundation for your mind to release and your meditation to become deep. In a circle, this is helped also with your set intention, but on a fractal level, this is creating a foundation that we can call a true democracy, when people actually cooperate with each other between circles, and we create a unified idea about how to create our, first of all, set our common vision of doing good, and then being able to look at the problems objectively without judgment, to look at the causes of the problem without fighting each other, but just listening to everyone's ideas, and then finding a strategy that meets most people's longings, a strategy how to incorporate it. And this will be able to happen even in between different people, like even if there's a lot of communists and nationalists and immigrants, whatever, they have their own circles where they share their own kind of energy field and their way of doing things. But in a fractal, every kind of circle will join together, and you will find that you can create a plan together. This is the pure democracy, where you can actually find ways to please as many as possible. So this is the next level, to go together and create a democracy, or a fractal democracy. And the first step is to just make this on a fairly small scale, in your local community, your local organization. If you're a communist, do this with your friends, make a fractal that is just in between you. If you're a naturalist, you do it there, and then you will join your fractals together at some point, and that you will see will be a great help to release a lot of the tension you have because of your judgment of each other, and you're blaming all the shadows on each other, and this will be it will be a hot topic of discussion, but eventually you will come to understand that you have the same problems, and that the causes are the same and similar, and that the solution is also the same, cooperating towards a world where everybody is happy, of course. Many people shout and say, but those naturalists, they only think about themselves, or something like that, or the opposite. It is never like that. Everybody is actually trying to do good, but they're just caught in their own shadows. They can't see their own shadows, and instead they're looking at your shadow. But in reality, there is no shadow without light. There is light there also. Look at the light and put more energy in the good intention. And even if there's like even a group of Nazis would have a good intention, it's just mixed up with this darkness. Their good intention is obviously to create a paradise on earth where everybody is healthy, everybody is of good spirit, high educated, and whatnot. Everybody has the same. Some have this a bit confused how to make it happen. Well, most people have. Usually it is like, if we just get rid of the problem, which is the other group, then we're gonna have a happy time. Obviously this is the wrong thinking, because we will be in constant battle until no one survives. No, it's about finding a way to incorporate our enemies into paradise and live side by side. That's what we're going to do with these fractals. Yes. And it is predicted by a good friend of mine, Yuri, a Swedish-Finnish gentleman. He came to me with a prophecy of the triple hearts, the palindrome of the three hearts. This is a date when it means that it's a date that you can read from both directions and it will be the same thing. And this is 2022, February the 22nd. It's all twos. And if you put this date on paper, you can get it as it's 2202222. And then you can read it in both directions as well. If you also at this point take the palindrome even further, so we kind of take every other two and turn them so we can see a mirror image of them. The two twos now standing opposite each other form a heart with a line in the bottom. It's like two twos, one mirrored will create a heart. So if you look at it like this, then it will be a heart, 0, heart, 0, heart. This is the palindrome of the three hearts. At this time, my good friend Yuri, a great light worker, he predicted that this will be the date when we create transparency within our government. And I think this is going to happen in Sweden. First of all, on this particular date, we're going to create a fractal that is so powerful that it will have real power to affect our democratic system, and it will do so by creating total transparency within our current system, because our current system is corrupted. And so by having this fractal to be the voice of the people, we will start by investigating further, controlling the corruption and putting some responsibilities on people. And this will largely just be a way to create awareness about the problems, putting light towards the shadow, and letting the government become better, because when they are not able to hide in the shadows just by our watching, our eyes being there, our efforts going into to making it clear everything what's happening, then everyone who is part of the system, who are not bad but trapped in their own dark shadows, they will see that they can actually join this and manifest the qualities of the hero themselves and be stronger and actually do better and stop working with the hierarchy of the darkness. So it will not need to do a lot, this structure, but this is the starting point. It will be a big celebration on the date of the three hearts, where we will declare victory. Because the victory is already here when we have the intention to follow through and create this new kind of democracy. It will be impossible for the enemy to survive through this. And I explain in more detail how the fractals work, and I'm creating a fractal platform, and everyone who wants to help in this great work of creating this open source software, please connect with me, because I'm leading an effort to do that and I need your help. All on uniteawake.com. So all that is good. Together we will create a structure, and then the structure will create stability because we don't fight each other, and the structure will create a solution. And basically it's, as I already said a bit, you have a common vision, you have a common understanding of the greatest problems, you have a common understanding why these problems occur, and we have a common strategy of how to create our vision come true. This is what every individual, every circle, and the whole of the fractal will create. So we have one unified strategy. And shortly and briefly, I will just tell you, if you don't even already know, I will tell you very briefly. The strategy is only here to bring the most important things on the table. We don't need to go through all different kind of truths out there. We only need to go for the most important. And basically, in the world of corruption, this is as follows. The big banks, they are creating money out of nothing, and through this they are controlling the whole of the world by lending this money, putting it into hands of governments and whatnot on the it's like a secret tax. They're making this money, and it makes all of your other money worth less. So they're creating assets, and they're controlling where in the economy they want to inflate and create more activity. This is the most important tool in the world, much more important than any legislations or similar can be that the governments have. The banking is the most important for everything. Money is power, and so obviously the fractal or the democracy need to be in control of the issuing of money, the quantities that are allowed to be issued, and who will be able to lend this money and for what interest. We don't need to go into details about this, but this needs to be redone. Then democracy in itself needs to be redone, and this is the more important, obviously, because democracy is also made to be able to control easily, but the fractals are not. So a combination of the fractals and a normal democracy is a good start, but then we need to change democracy little by little until it has more of the qualities that a fractal have. And then we need to understand then that behind, you could see from the banks and outwards, there is a network of structures, shadow structures, and all of these are spreading everywhere. And we need to be aware of that. The fact there's no large organization not touched by this. Everything is touched by the shadows of the banks or the super wealthy. And so we need to start taking back all this, but it all can be done through the fractals. The television could be controlled by fractals. The democracy can create a fractal democracy. We create everything can be created with the support of these fractals. So that will create a large change in everything. And then we need to change the laws, and through the fractals and through our democratic process, every law will be changed to adapt to the plan of humanity, which is of course to create good life quality everywhere. So all kind of patents will be taken out. There's no need for any patent at all, because no one needs to be rich and famous for creating a new invention. It's not about that. That's the thing of the past. If you create a new invention, maybe you will be happy to have it spread. So there's no need for this money business. So all patents forever in the future and in the past will be free, and everyone will be able to use it as they please. This will then make it super easy to create efficient technology, efficient medicine, and so on. And then Another thing that's super important is to make life easy. We have a bureaucratic society. Bureaucracy is like control. You control everyone and getting tax from everyone, even the poorest. And that's just this typical Robin Hood story that they go out and try to get the last little coin from the starving families. And they're using all this resource to get just the copper coins from the poor ones. And this is just a form of control. It's just to make sure that no one is strong enough to resist them. But we don't need that. So all people of low income or just a little income, just enough, will be totally what do you call it? We'll be totally free to do our business without interference. We can do whatever we want without taxing and without reporting our activities, without any need for permits. We can all build our house, we can all make our food, we can all sell our food, we can all sell our services, we can do whatever we want. And we're all only affected by criminal law, which means that if we hurt someone, they can make a complaint, and that will go to the court and so on. And by then we have already changed the way our courts work. So it will be a good court. But generally, normal people are not affected of colored law. Colored law is all these rules and regulations. Rules and regulation, on the other hand, will be used to control everyone with a higher income or global companies. And they will be all the effort put now to control every little person and stealing the last little bit of tax money. All that energy will go into the big companies, and they will be monitored so closely that everybody is knowing when they do anything wrong. So they need to start by just living up to regulations. So obviously we're not going to have too difficult things. We're going to make it more simplified. Everything's going to be simple, but it's going to be very direct. The big companies cannot pollute, so that will obviously create a big change in our whole economy, because a lot of our companies are actually not qualified to operate at all. Maybe just letting out tons and tons of chemicals into the environment, obviously managing to bribe themselves out of the problem right now, but in the future, when the transparency is on, they will just have to put them down. And so there's a new way of bureaucracy. All the bureaucracy is going to the high level rich companies, the multinationals, and they are going to basically be standing without any earnings in the end of the day. They're just going to have enough to pay all their employees and themselves, and then all the big cuts that they're using for their private investigation into how to create more control, all of this is going to be taxed and put into the fractal, and the fractal democracy will be also the fractal banking. They will use all this tax money and to put it into areas of research and development that we need. This is the change. So in a way, I like to see it like a combination of the right wing and the left wing view. The right wing meaning liberty and freedom for everyone to do as they please, but only on a local level of human being. And the left wing, everything should be regulated and equal and follow all the rules and regulations and whatnot. This is going to be applied on the big companies. The companies is going to work for the government basically. So all the big companies are governmental property, basically, due to mainly them needing to pay taxes. Not that it's going to be owned by the government, but their earnings is going to be owned by the government, and the government is really a true democracy then. So this combines the best of the both worlds and will create the future for humankind to progress. And this will be so strong that it will lead a light into the thousands of years to come and create a new era of peace and prosperity that we haven't seen for thousands of years. So blessings to you. The download is completed, all of you light beings. Remember your calling, go invoke your hero, find your circle, spread your circles and create a fractal. And on the date of the 3 hearts, we will join together in celebration worldwide. And by then, we should already have our fractals joined together, ready for this day and time. And this celebration is going to be the next level step. So now you have quite a mission to accomplish, and please take it fully serious, work hard to find your circle, find your practice, and to establish the fractal. Love and light, healing, bless you all. Remember, you are perfect. You are one with God. Everything is perfect.